What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, July 5th, 2019. I hope you're doing well. Let's go over a couple points here. If you're new to this channel, number one thing I can tell you is this. My videos offer technical analysis. They do not offer you predictions. They do not offer you financial advice. I am not a permabull where I'm only doing bullish videos. There is a new pattern, as the title says, that has a $15,000 Bitcoin target. As all patterns do, it has an inverse target to the downside, which is possible. So we're going to talk about that. That's number one. Number two, if you're new to this channel, thank you so much for coming by. Hit the likes right now if you're in the replay, if you're in the live chats. If you're a replay viewer, you can probably go down to the timestamps in the pinned comment below. You can kind of skip around the video if you'd like. So this is going to be more of a laid back type of video. I don't do live streams all the time, but when I do, they can get kind of long, right? And I know a lot of you like videos under 5 minutes. This definitely is not going to be under 5 minutes. I can tell you that much right now. So appreciate anybody that's coming by right now. I see John Lee from ATL. What's up, John? What's up, Jerry? Tech Lords. What's up, dude? A long time no talk. A couple weeks ago, I met you, man. Joseph says, I'm waiting till Litecoin hits 140 to sell. Michael says, smash the likes. I agree. Mexican Charlie Lee still begging for the wrench. You got to earn it, dude. You just got to earn it. I see Twitter and I see everybody giving you a hard time all the time. That's pretty messed up. I got to talk to them guys over there. So what's up, DRX Duck Cleaning? I saw your Twitter video the other day. Well done. Actually going to talk about the Flexa app today. I have some thoughts. I'm going to throw out there. Poseidon Lou, my dude, is in the chat. That means I can get started, essentially. So let's jump into the charts. Timestamp, mental note, 2 minutes, 30 seconds or so for replay viewers. I want to start on Bitcoin. We're going to kind of dig in. We'll start on the monthly. I've been really liking the monthly chart lately. Starting on the monthly, really get a really long-term snapshot, right? It paints such a good perspective and such a good picture for all of us. Mexican Charlie Lee says, SPEDN App worked flawless at Baskin Robbins today. Thanks for the super chat. And I think I just saw your post on Twitter. There's a lot of chatter right now about the Flexa SPEDN App, and we're going to talk about that towards the end of this live stream. So here we go. Monthly chart. You see it on the screen. I guess the only thing I really want to talk about on the Bitcoin monthly chart, at least, is this. I mentioned it in a video on Litecoin, I believe yesterday. I want to just talk about this monthly chart. Green candles. Let me zoom in here. I know I have some, drawings on here, but that's because I have them on my 4-hour chart. One monthly candle in February, green. 2 monthly green. 3, 4, 5, 6 monthly candle. 6 monthly green candle in formation right now. I just want to, especially if you're new into cryptocurrency and you haven't really tracked or even looked into, the historical moves of Bitcoin. Obviously, long term, it's a beautiful parabolic trend. We see it here. Here's our long-term chart on Bitcoin. There's actually a link in the description of this chart. This is a chart I did back in December, which has, $90,000 Bitcoin, $100,000 Bitcoin, 2021 on this chart, plotted on this chart. And you can see the link in the description if you're interested in that. Crypto Angels, thank you for the super chat and telling me to give him a wrench. Appreciate that. Super chat. So back to the monthly chart that we were just looking at. For just good perspective, I think it's just smart and wise just to realize that 6 green monthly candles is actually not something that has even happened since... I just had it. I think it was right here. So this is back in November 2012. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles, 2012 on the monthly chart. That's the last time Bitcoin has done that. You can see, even in the bull market, that we just had, 2017. I shouldn't say just, it's almost 2 years ago. But you can see even in this awesome uptrend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monthly candles. And then what happened? It's not like the uptrend permanently stopped, but there was a month of just crazy extreme volatility and consolidation. So this is a 40% monthly candle, right, to the downside. Obviously, it didn't end 40% down, but that was a wild ride. And the rest of that month, if we really looked at the daily chart, you're going to see probably a lot of sideways trading, right? Nothing, no parabolic gains or anything. A month of people freaking out, thinking this was the top at $4,550 in September 2017, not realizing that there still was over 200, almost 300% gains in store for the next 3 months, right? So my point is this: these months, this red month right here, is pretty much why I do technical analysis. It's waiting for those months. That's really it. And that's simply because when we're having green month after green month, I'm just sitting back. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride. Since this February monthly candle, it's been extremely exciting. And I've had the opportunity with a lot of you in the chat just to enjoy these gains that we've seen since this bear market low. But what I am doing, and that's why I talk about dips a lot, is I'm just waiting for these monthly candles, right? Whether it's 2 months, 1 month, these consolidation phases that Bitcoin has even in bull markets. So I track it. That's why I talk about the downside, is because I'm waiting for it. I need to be ready for it. And so this is part of my approach for Bitcoin and Litecoin. We go to Bitcoin on the weekly chart, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I talk about it often. It's simple. We look at the RSI on the weekly. It just gives some clues that say just be a little careful when we're looking here in the middle on this momentum oscillator in the middle. In that overbought territory at the 80 line, which is kind of an average area of resistance for Bitcoin for the lifetime of Bitcoin. So after we've gotten, we have 6 monthly green candles in play right now in a row, and we're at a key area of potential resistance for Bitcoin on the RSI. All I'm saying is just be ready if you want to buy some more Bitcoin. The opportunity might be ahead, right, in the short term. Rob says, I fully expect a spend challenge video from you. Don't be playing. I've got some things about this spend app that I want to talk about. I can't do a full review. I haven't started using it yet, right? But first off, I like it. I'm not going to say I don't like it. But there are some things I have some thoughts about. And it's hard because I know you Litecoin fam are passionate people. But there are just some things that I want to talk about. I'm going to bring it up in this video. I think it's good. This is healthy. I'm sure even if Flexa people saw, concerns that people using the app have, I'm sure they'd appreciate that anyway. So we'll talk about it at the end. All I know is I'm extremely appreciative of the work that went into getting Litecoin on the app, number one. Number two, this is a huge step in terms of introducing Litecoin into the payment space, introducing Litecoin, integrating it into your life, my life, to be able to spend it. It's an extremely large step, so I never want to discount that at all. It's awesome. But there are some things I want to talk about. So weekly chart, all I'm saying is be ready, for resistance. We're in that overbought territory on average where we've seen pullbacks. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I know probably a lot of you are sick of hearing about it. Who wants to talk about downside anyway? Benjamin says, we may go down short term, but ultimately we'll go higher than we can imagine. Love you, Dan and Sarah, for the foundation. Benjamin 999 super chat. Thank you. Love you too for the foundation, LAUNCHPAD Foundation. Appreciate it. And I agree. 100% agree. Short term, this would be a short term consolidation, right? And you see it. It's illustrated perfectly on the monthly chart. Like in this uptrend that Bitcoin had from this bottom in 2015 to top in 2017, right? What happened? These little pullbacks were short term. But imagine just being able to accumulate and buy some more in those 30, 40% dips. It's important. It's important to me, and that's why I do these videos. That's why I do technical analysis. So now we're digging in. We're on the daily chart a little bit. Here we go. Daily chart. So this kind of will work our way into, obviously in the thumbnail of this video, I have a $15,000 target for Bitcoin. We already had a formation where we have like around a $16,000 target, but the fact that we have now a new pattern in formation that could play into that, right? Anytime you have like multiple bullish patterns happening at once, it's exciting to watch and to see what happens. Now, what makes this extremely exciting is this. We have bullish patterns. We do on the 4-hour charts, which we're going to dig into. But when we look at the long-term charts, and I don't know if you've seen my videos as of lately, but when we're looking at the long-term charts and we're seeing that bull market high to our bear market low, and we're plotting our Fibonacci retracement, and we're getting this channel over here, the 618 to 786, which is, just to give you some context of what that rectangle I have here in this area of 16,000 down to like 13,200. Here it is, that blue rectangle. That is a huge area of resistance. A huge area of resistance. Like if we go back, you can see, and I've charted this multiple times in the last couple weeks, this resistance channel. The same thing happened from the last bull market high to bear market low, resistance right here, right? And so we're at a similar area. So what's really kind of exciting to watch right now is we have these two formations happening on the 4-hour, which I'm going to get to in a second. Oh no, I think the stream, I don't even think the stream is working. Look at that. Sarah, can you get on? Or if somebody can actually view this, press 1. Because my computer's saying the stream is down. If somebody can actually view this, press 1. There you go. I can view it. Yo, YouTube just has a habit of they want to get in my mind mentally. So YouTube's telling me there's an error and I'm not live. So I thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Yo, that's the worst feeling when you're doing this and you see this. Your stomach drops. It really is scary, everybody. So it's exciting that we're approaching, or we've already approached this key resistance area, right? We wicked into it on the daily chart, almost hit $14,000. But what's cool is we have these bullish formations now right under it. It's almost like, is Bitcoin really going to step up its game and actually break through this extremely strong area of resistance? And I call this whole Fibonacci channel right here, this 618 to the 786, I call it the doorway to the bull market. It really is. And if you go back, and we could probably just use the weekly, it's a little easier just to zoom out here. If we go back on this weekly chart, right? So here's our Fibonacci up here, this blue rectangle, retracement, doorway to the bull market, everybody. I'm telling you, this is the doorway to the $100,000 Bitcoin. It's right here, the resistance up to $16,000. This was the doorway for Bitcoin when it was at $700 some dollars. This was the doorway up to $960 for Bitcoin to see $20,000. This was the doorway. It hit a huge resistance there, and it took some time for it to actually break above it and see all-time highs and crazy gains. Now we're at a similar area, and it's exciting to watch. However, it definitely takes some patience because we want it to happen quick. We want to break this channel quick, but we just have to keep doing daily videos and tracking new patterns. So speaking of new patterns, we can go to the 4-hour charts, and here it is, my crazy 4-hour chart that you see on the screen. I want to try and, if I close this, it might make it a little bit even bigger. So these red lines you have here, this is the new pattern I'm talking about. We have, first off, this white falling wedge, right? These lower lows, lower highs. We broke out of the upper trend line. So that's number one. I just want you to notice that, right? So here's the swing high, here's a lower high, here's another lower high, but that lower high is a breakout out of right here, the upper trend line that started back in June. So that's number one. Number two is this. I'm going to zoom in real good. And I think, yeah, you can see the red lines easy enough. So on these red lines is potential inverse head and shoulders on Bitcoin right now. So we haven't touched the neckline just yet, but you can see left shoulder right here. You can see head. My mouse is all screwed up right there. And you can see right shoulder in formation. We haven't touched a neckline yet. So that's our inverse head and shoulders right now, just running right alongside this falling wedge that we've been tracking. And all the while, what's really cool about this is this stinking trend line that I've just been obsessed with this pattern for like way too long now. I'm gonna have to let it go soon. This pattern that we used successfully when we got this breakout below this rising wedge, failed breakout, right? We talked about this wedge being busted. A busted rising wedge was going to give us some ridiculous gains, and it did. We busted it. We revisited that lower trend line, and then we hit our target really right up here into that $14,000 area. So that upper trend line now is still like in play, at least as far as my technical analysis goes. It's reliable. I'm going to keep using it, and we're using it literally right now because you see we had this support area right here of that upper trend line of that wedge from back in the day. We had that support area for the left shoulder. Now we have that support area for the right shoulder, and we have the bounce. And right now we have a 4-hour candle, nothing crazy going on. Bitcoin's 11,382. So right now I'm wondering, like, what's going to happen when we get to this neckline? Neckline not far away, 11,900 or so. And you can see it. Price range wise, we've got 5.5% away. I mean, that can happen in a 1-minute candle. So that's kind of something I'm tracking right now. If we look at this, we have the target for that, for this head right here. I don't want that. I want it to be, I want to change the color. Whatever, I'll leave it red. Target for this head, neckline to the head is our target. Is right around 15.3 to 15.4. Can put it right there. And you see the target is pretty much on point with our target from this falling wedge, right? We see these two targets right here. And it's right in that, right below that 786 on this long-term resistance. It's perfect. I love technical analysis because it just plays out so nice. It really does. So that's it. There's two bullish patterns running alongside with each other, playing off of each other. And then not only that, we've got this stinking upper trend line that I just love so much, just working its way through. We wondered, is that going to play as support in this story of Bitcoin right now? And so far it is, and it's been support for two parts of this inverse head and shoulders that we have going on right now. So really interesting to see. And I guess we'll continue to track it at the very least. If we're looking at the 4-hour chart, we can, just for context to what we're looking at. There's so much going on. It's almost ridiculous. We have our swing low on this 4-hour. It's easier to chart in the daily chart, but we'll start swing low around June 4th to our swing high, almost $14,000. And we have our Fibonacci channel right here, 9,900, 8,700. So I'm still watching that area. We charted this. We wanted to see support. This is my buy zone, my first area of getting into Bitcoin. Not getting into Bitcoin, but accumulating more Bitcoin. And this was our first area. We wicked into it. I was not around, so I didn't buy any Bitcoin right here. And we didn't get too far into that channel. So I like to get a little bit deeper before I start buying more. We just didn't get there. So I'm still looking at this area if we do see some downside, because like I said, this inverse head and shoulders doesn't have a target to the downside right now. This inverse head and shoulders is not even really confirmed yet. We haven't even touched the neckline. We haven't broken the neckline. However, we do have targets for this falling wedge. So that falling wedge, I mean, easily breaking this channel. So this Fibonacci channel in the short term right here, this green channel, extremely important to see if there's support. I'm still going to be buying there, but it's not my heavy buy zone. I like to say that's me warming up my buying fingers. So Crypto Rambo, $10 for the LAUNCHPAD Foundation. Thank you so much. Awesome screen name, by the way. Appreciate what you're saying there. Thanks for your great work. Thank you for thinking it's great work. Appreciate it. Steven Herzog is in the house. What is up? So that's pretty much Bitcoin. That's what I'm looking at. There are two patterns in play right now at the end of the day that speak to a $15,000 target, $15,000 plus target, a falling wedge, and a possible inverse head and shoulders in play right now. So that's it. There is downside. We looked at first area support. I'm telling you, it's this Fibonacci retracement area. Let's see what happens. I'll be buying some in there. Litecoin. 30 days, 10 hours, 3 minutes away from the halving. The halving. Wow, it's going to be weird once the halving passes and we can't talk about it anymore. We can't speculate about it anymore. So I did a video yesterday. If you missed it, go check it out, talking about Litecoin halving. It's what was it entitled? The Litecoin halving is approaching. Will Litecoin fall? It's very dramatic. I try to make it as dramatic as possible. Actually, I shouldn't say many, but I got some comments. People aren't happy with it. People aren't happy talking about downside. Same thing, different day. But downside is 100% possible. Downside is 100% possible. Sometimes it's become almost entertaining talking about downside, because seeing how much it kind of gets to people is kind of funny sometimes. It really is kind of funny. Like, people get really defensive when you talk about any cryptocurrency going down. But little do they realize, like, that's where you get to buy more. That's where you get to stack it up. I'm telling you. Listen, if we look at Bitcoin halvings, even, like, there weren't crazy parabolic gains, like, just because the halving happened. Like, that story of supply and demand and what's really happening there, it takes a little bit of time to really feel the impact, which is extremely a good thing, right? These lines right here that you see on the screen are the halvings for Bitcoin, just to give you an idea. I know we're zoomed out on the charts, but I think you can get a really good idea. Like, there's nothing crazy going on. Here's 2012 halving, like, in terms of price, nothing crazy going on. This halving was, November 2012, I guess. And then it was January 2013, Bitcoin started going crazy. Zoom in a little bit. 2016 halving, Bitcoin actually went down a little bit going into this halving. I know this chart is so small. I can make it bigger. Bitcoin actually, went down a little going into this halving. Actually, I mean, it looks like a little, but I bet you that's a lot. We can even look. Total of 37%, right? So if you're new to cryptocurrency, when I first heard about the halving, I was kind of just like, what the heck is the halving, first of all? But number two, I was kind of like, this thing called the halving must have some really influential, immediate impact on price. Like, I need to know what I should be doing on this day, which is the halving. And if you look at literally like what's going on when the halving is happening, it's really nothing crazy. So it's better to try and understand what's happening technically with the halving and why it takes a little bit of time for that to catch up. Price is what I'm saying. Price to actually make a move, right? And you can see for Bitcoin, at least for its history, the year after the halving, has proven to be a beautiful thing, a beautiful time. And that's why in our cycles of Bitcoin, we have number one, the halving, number two, all-time high 1 year later, number three, leading into a correction. That's really the cycles of Bitcoin for the lifetime of Bitcoin. That's what has happened. That's how this $100,000 Bitcoin, after this next halving in around a year, is in play on the charts, if not more $100,000. So just want to let you know. Rob says, if you guys look at the BTC chart and lay an accumulation distribution line on it, it'll tell the story. Even during the downtrend, accumulation was happening. All the smart money is buying it. It's so true. It's extremely true. Even in the downtrend, smart money was buying it. Even in the downtrend, we were buying it, right? We did technical analysis. It's more of we want to buy the dips, even in a downtrend. Anthony Pompliano, I saw him in an interview, and he basically said he's always buying Bitcoin. He like no matter when, he's always buying Bitcoin. And I think because if you're truly long in this space and on Bitcoin, even in a downtrend, even when things are looking bad, you have like this long-term outlook. You're here for many, many years in your head, right? So that's why when you have an investment strategy, you have fiat that you're going to be investing into something, right? Maybe it's real estate, maybe it's stocks, maybe it's whatever. You have the fiat available. No matter where Bitcoin is, you're pretty much going to be like, I'm going to buy some. That's how I am, at least. When I buy heavy, that's when I really like to introduce buying during a dip, right? I like when I'm buying a 30% dip for Bitcoin, no matter what market we're in. Just because you're most likely going to get a 30% to 40%, 50% bounce off of that area, even if short term. Even if in a bear market, you're getting a short-term bounce, it's still beautiful to buy that dip. So I'm completely going off of topic, which was Litecoin. I'm sorry. So Litecoin, here we go. Litecoin on the monthly chart. So I did the video yesterday, 27 minutes, mental note. I did the video yesterday, monthly chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're in our 7th monthly candle, right? We had 6 green monthly closes, everybody. That hasn't happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that has happened. What hasn't happened is 7 monthly candles. And I know you can say, well, Dan, history doesn't repeat itself all the time. It doesn't have to repeat itself. And I agree with that. Number one, I agree that Litecoin actually could put in like 15 green monthly candles if it wants. We can live in that world. It's a possibility. I get it. But I'm not gonna become brainwashed to the fact that historically, Bitcoin included, it stops at a certain time, right? And so there are pullbacks. And so we just happen to be in a 7th monthly candle, right? 6 is the longest Litecoin has gone in terms of just monthly green candles closing. So we're in the 7th, and not only are we in the 7th, we're pretty much 30 days away. We are 30 days away from the Litecoin halving. And what happened in the last Litecoin halving? 70% from swing high to swing low. So, all that to say, be prepared. Somebody watched my video talking about this in yesterday's video, and just was kind of, they were not happy. Their comment was not happy with me, basically saying, you talked for 12 or 13 minutes, and at the end you basically just said, make your own decision and figure out what you're going to do. He was mad at me because my advice was find your risk tolerance and make your own decision on what you're going to do when Litecoin is at this crazy looking area. He wanted somebody, I guess, apparently, and he's looking for people on YouTube that can tell you what to do, that can tell him what to do with his money. It's literally the most foolish thing you can do. If you're in this live chat right now and you're on YouTube finding people to tell you what to do with your money or when to buy, be extremely careful, and I would just say stop doing that altogether. This is a game of risk, and this is a game of strategy, and you have to find your own strategy because your risk tolerance is different than mine. Your risk tolerance is different than everybody in this live chat and every YouTuber that's doing YouTube videos on cryptocurrency. There's not one person in this world that can tell you, matter of fact, how to approach this market. You have to find your comfort level and you do so safely if you so choose. If you don't want to be safe about it, then that shows that you have a high tolerance for risk. What's cool is many of us have had opportunity to accumulate Litecoin, and we've enjoyed this ride. Now, I want to say, if you're new and you missed this ride, right? And I want to say this too. I wasn't accumulating Litecoin back here. I just want to let everybody know that. I wasn't sitting around accumulating Litecoin back here. Do I wish I was around, like in doing videos on the halving back in 2015? 100% I do. But it doesn't change the fact that the opportunity since I've been in Bitcoin and Litecoin is ridiculous. And this leads me to my point. The opportunity now is ridiculous for people getting into Bitcoin and Litecoin right now. I'm talking literally to this day. If somebody's getting into Litecoin and it's $120, there's opportunity here. I'm telling you that right now. But we're at one of the most volatile stages right now. We were extremely overbought. You see it on the monthly chart, and we're leading into the halving, which historically is an area of extreme volatility. So you have to be extremely careful. It might create for you the opportunity of a lifetime to accumulate some Litecoin under $100. The charts say that, $50, $60 would be a swing low from a weekly chart perspective. I saw Rob saying that he doesn't believe it'll go that low. I don't either. I'm in the $90 range. What I talked about in yesterday's video, I'm not going to talk about it again. However, you see $64 down here is the 50-week moving average. It's a really key area of support. If Litecoin does capitulate and go crazy, it's probably going to be in the 60s, if anywhere, very quickly. If you happen to be able to accumulate in that area, good for you. I feel like it would be one of those scenarios where I'm sleeping, I wake up, it was there, and we're back at like $90. That's just my thought. This might not even happen. It's just a possibility. My intention for this video was not to talk about that. I did a whole video about it yesterday. So right now on the daily chart, we can talk about that. Daily chart, what's going on? The daily chart actually, pivoting away from the long-term charts, right, and how overextended Litecoin is on the monthly chart, the daily chart looks pretty sweet right now. It really does, just from a complete technical analysis perspective. So for any perma bulls out there that want just bullish technical analysis, I mean, open up the daily chart. It just looks good, in my opinion. Andre says, I swear that I will teach you how to properly do TA if you stop showing us all that mess from your charts. Andre, I invite you to do a video. I'll feature it on this channel to over 20,000 subscribers. I dare you to do a video. You're all talk, dude, like every other commenter that makes comments like that on my videos. Andre. Justin Red, what's up, man? Good to see you here. Julian, thanks for watching. So check it out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest things I've been wanting to see since we've revisited the 50-week or the 50-day moving average, right? We've, from our swing high 146, we've come down, right? This was at least important. 22% to the 50-day moving average. In the story of Litecoin, like if you're a perma bull and you just want to see Litecoin keep going, we know that the 50-day moving average is extremely important. And we can kind of get that picture right here, right? Like if you zoom out on the charts, it just tells the story. And actually I want to go to a more zoomed out chart going back further. So here's the blue ocean of the 50-day moving average. You can see in an uptrend the support. Here's 2017 bull market, right? You can see just that the bounces that we've got off of that 50-day moving average above it, right? When we're in a bear market, you can see this previous bear market that we were in Where's Litecoin? It's, struggling to even like get above the 50-day moving average. It's just underwater all the time. So like bull market, we're above water. Bear market, we're below water. It's one of the easiest ways to look at it. And so that's what we're looking for. We want to be above the 50-day moving average ocean. And so we've had 10 days right now where Litecoin's actually seeing support above it. It's a really good sign. If you're looking at the daily chart, it's bullish, because times like that is, if we're looking back in January even, where we had consolidation from a swing high, you can just see it. Just taking this, for example, January 7th, 28% consolidation back to the 50-day moving average. We always look for the 50-day moving average to act as gravity, to pull us back, right, after we're overextended. So here's a case we got pulled back 28%. Now what's cool is Litecoin saw support above this ocean of blue. And what happened? Continuation for Litecoin. So similarly, on the daily charts, we have the same type of thing happening, which is Litecoin, continuously being pulled back. Right here, we were pulled back in April, beginning of April, 30% to the 50-day moving average. And then most recently, we've been pulled back over 20%. So you can see how there's potential continuation in Litecoin right now. So let's get rid of that so we can see better. So the daily chart's looking good. We can open up the RSI. We're not in the overbought territory, right? We're not at that area of overbought resistance, overextension on the daily where we're expecting a big consolidation. We've already got it pretty much, right? We were approaching that 75-80 area on Litecoin, and we've come back down all the way down to around 30, in the 30s or so on the RSI. So really nice to see that on Litecoin. And then even on the MACD, you can see we had this MACD cross below the signal line in June, right? Third week of June or so, third week of June. And we've had 2 to 3 weeks of consolidation. And you can even see we're approaching, once again, the zero on the histogram, and we might be getting a little turn in the daily MACD line, right? Back to the upside, which is what we want to see. What we really want to see is kind of just that MACD cross above the red signal line. So Litecoin on the daily chart doesn't look bad. If you're one of those people calling for like $160, $180 Litecoin, the daily chart speaks to it, right? It really does. It truly could happen. So want to throw that out there. If we're looking at our previous swing high and we want to just from a Fibonacci retracement standpoint get some perspective on potential next swing high, we can take our swing high to swing low and we can chart the if I can get my trend line, the 1618 right here around 169, 170. Next swing high. I did a bearish video on Litecoin yesterday, right? Talk about a huge pullback. So why not talk about $170 Litecoin in this video? Because it truly is, from a technical analysis perspective, a next swing high target, using the 50 moving average and Fibonacci retracement charting, just using those two things alone. So that's the daily chart. Going over the 4-hour chart, we have pretty much potentially in play, if we zoom in a little bit here, did this yesterday. Upper trend line, lower trend line. So I really want to test this upper trend line once again on this symmetrical triangle for Litecoin. I also mentioned in yesterday's video, I don't really like how this first touch looks like back here. So to me, it's not the most reliable symmetrical triangle if you're going to chart it back to that area. However, we could start it here if we wanted, and we can call this a first touch on the bottom trend line, second. We could have a third right here for a high or low, and then we could have a a first swing high, second swing high. So we have 5 touches. We have a symmetrical triangle in play. Essentially, it's not the most beautiful, but technically speaking, it is in play. And what I can do is I can even just get rid of that since I don't like it. We're definitely 70% to the apex. Or we're approaching 70% to the apex. I would like to see. So 86, 54. (62.7% to the apex). So we're right in that range. We're coming up on that area where on average we would break out one way or the other. So here's a nice, if you just want to track Litecoin from a pattern perspective, which is really always fun. I mean, it's on the short term probably one of the best things you can do. This plays pretty good into our swing high that we just had for a 1618 on the Fibonacci to 170. And it plays pretty good into our strong consolidation into the 90s. This pattern right here. I think this 4-hour pattern symmetrical triangle is really good to watch for Litecoin if you're into watching patterns. Andre, I was serious too. If you do videos, I would love, like, people that don't like my charting and stuff, and they voice it out loud. I would love to see their charting. I'm not the type of person. I'm not going to get into an arguing match with you. I'll take your stuff seriously, and I'll have a good conversation with you and see what you're doing. But this is what we're looking at right now. So that's Litecoin charts. Litecoin Summit 2019, 10-second commercial. Go get your tickets. I want to see you there. I do. Litecoin on Twitter. This is one thing I wanted to talk about. Here we go. I don't know how many people in here, and here's the other thing. I'm on Twitter a lot, so I know a lot of you in here are on Twitter, but I know a lot aren't. And I know there's a lot of news on Twitter you kind of get wind of, and there might be some people on this YouTube channel that aren't familiar with the Spend app by Flexa. So the Spend app has added Litecoin. You can now spend Litecoin in over 39,000 plus new stores all over the US. DRX Duck Cleaning says he used the Spend app at GameStop for $93 and AMC for $7. I couldn't spend more at AMC because I reached my $100 weekly spending limit. So that's something I wanted to talk about. Exactly what you just said. So first off, if you go to this, you need codes. I thought Rebecca here, she's on Twitter. I make lemonade. I think she has codes. I know Rob D has codes. I know they're testing things, right? So I'm just about to dive in and talk about this a little bit. I'm not talking bad about it. I want to let everybody know that's long on and bullish on the Spend app. Not talking bad about it. So, number one, John Kim, good job, dude. I know you put a lot of work into this. John Kim says, I'm convinced that this will have the biggest impact on mass adoption. Litecoin is absolutely one of the best cryptocurrencies for real-world payments. And I'm excited to support the entire Litecoin community to make cryptocurrency spendable everywhere. That I agree with. Litecoin is absolutely one of the best cryptocurrencies for world payments. So anyway, this just got added. It's available on iOS, not yet Android. I think it's like a week or something for Android. And I haven't gotten it set up yet. I've been way too busy. I'm doing this live stream because I'm going to be moving in the next 4 days. It's going to be incredibly busy. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do a video. So anyway, a lot of people really excited about this because it is cool. If you go to, I really thought I had their, let's see. Their website up. the new network for cryptocurrency payments, wallets, about Flexa, places to pay. We have 30,475 of them. Flexa was built to help merchants save money so that they can help you save money. So if you go, you can see, I mean, here's one right here, Clint Westwood. You can see him spending at Dunkin' Donuts using his spend app wallet. You can see Rob D doing a contest. But here's just some things I wanted to talk about. And here's a snapshot of the interface and kind of what it looks like when you have some Litecoin in the wallet. You can use it to spend, and you literally can. You go into Dunkin' Donuts, they scan your QR code, and boom, it's done. So I'll just say that this is exactly the type of thing that Litecoin needs. This is exactly the type of thing cryptocurrency needs. These are the types of innovations that will act as stepping stones to change the payment space. If you want to live in a world where Litecoin is accepted in stores, this is the type of thing that needs to happen. So Flexa is doing awesome work. The Spend app is sick, and I like it. But right now, what I want to do is I want to explore some things, because I'm legit just trying to wrap my head around what that looks like. Litecoin as payments in everyday life. Like, what does cryptocurrency adoption really look like? We always talk about it. Most people, myself included, we're thinking about price a lot. Everybody, we're watching price. So we're not always thinking about it, and we're definitely not living in an everyday world where we have this crypto adoption. So I tweeted earlier, I said, anyone using Flexa Spend app for Litecoin, at number 1, do you like it? Number 2, do you replenish the Litecoin you spend? Number 3, are you okay with not being able to withdraw your Litecoin? So number 1, it's true. I would like to know who likes it. Number 2, big question. Do you replenish the Litecoin that you spend? And I would like to know, for everybody in the chat right now, do you replenish? If you're going to spend Litecoin using something like Spend app, are you going to immediately replenish it? Press 1 if you would, press 2 if you're not. If you're just going to spend your Litecoin, not replenish. I want to know. I'm just very curious how you're going to go about using cryptocurrencies as a payment. Are you going to replace it and buy more? So far, it looks like most people will replenish it. And heck yeah, I would too. So this is my number 3rd question. Are you okay with not being able to withdraw your Litecoin? So I got this. I didn't even know about this because I didn't even dig into this enough. Brian tweeted yesterday. Was it yesterday? It was 2 days ago. He said, so my account was activated, but I can't withdraw. And he's like, I can't withdraw if I want to. Now this is big. First off, I probably would have just downloaded the app, put the Litecoin in, not a crazy amount, but just with the assumption that you can withdraw. I think this is big. This needs to be, I think, in my opinion, approached a little bit differently. I think people need to know, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, before they're putting money in here, before they're putting Litecoin in here, that you can't withdraw. Literally, it says no withdrawals. It says spend is designed for spending. This means that any funds you deposit must be spent at a Flexa merchant and cannot be withdrawn or sent to another wallet. The other thing, and I would like to see your thoughts on that, everybody in the chats. What do you think about that? Because in my opinion, I don't like it. I just don't. And I think I love the app. I love what the team is doing. So that me saying I don't like it isn't talking bad about it. There's things I don't like about pretty much every product. This is just something I don't like about this. It's almost like you're putting money into your wallets, but it's like once you do that, so Rob says it's essentially a checking account. There will be so many stores accepting it. But the thing is about a checking account, if you put money into it, you can move it around. I can go into my app and my bank and I can move it from account to account. I want to have access and control over my money. Once I put that money into the Flexa app, the Spend app, it's pretty much locked. It's like in a safe, locked away. I just don't like that. I think it goes against everything that cryptocurrency is supposed to be. It doesn't make sense to me that they would do that. So that's something I would be interested to see if maybe, there could be some more flexibility with no withdrawals. I don't think that's the best thing for the app. And then number two, I think this speaks to probably because, they're in beta. I know they're testing some things. With your new account, spend up to $100 per week. And your spend limit is reset Friday afternoon. You see it there. That's not a big deal to me because I feel like that will be probably increased. I don't think they're always going to have a $100 per week spend limit. They're probably testing some things, which is fine. But that withdrawal thing, I don't think that's a good idea. And from what I see on Twitter, for anybody that's being honest, it's not accepted. It's not being well received, I guess you could say. So that's it. That's Flexa. I wanted to and I'll probably read through this chat a little bit later. I want to see what everybody's saying. I'm really curious. I retweeted. I said, for clarity, I haven't used Flexa yet, so I don't have an opinion yet. However, I'm still personally trying to navigate through the concept of Litecoin adoption and what it looks like in real life. So there's like the struggle for me because this is really good for Litecoin. This is awesome. And I see everybody really excited about it on Twitter. But I'm extremely I'm a picky consumer. I'm picky when it comes to my money. So when there's things that I see that I don't like, I'm kind of like, do I get on the hype train and just, feel excited about it because I think it's an awesome thing. It's a huge news for Litecoin. Or do I kind of put a little bit of a spotlight on the things I don't like? And I feel like there's probably more value in me being the person that puts a spotlight on the things I don't like. Because I feel like, number one, that's my job by having this channel. And number two, maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll help the Flexa team with what they're building, because I truly believe they're building something awesome, and I like it. So that's it. I have a little bit of concern with a couple things, but it's not a big deal. You can see Mexican Charlie Leon here. I deposited money into. I'm having trouble loading the Flex code, but he was successful. I saw some comments. I don't know where the post was, but a lot of people using the app, and it's awesome to see. So that's it. That's the Flexa app, Spend app for Litecoin. Litecoin added to it. Andy Pro 500. I hope you have a better day tomorrow, dude. Doesn't look like you're having a good day today. So recap of the video, Litecoin, or Bitcoin, I should say, on the 4-hour chart. Let's zoom in. Poseidon Lou, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Can't believe you're still here. You've been here the whole time. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, man. LAUNCHPAD Foundation. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, man. I really do. So recap, Bitcoin, $15,000, 2 targets. Remember, everybody, there are targets to the downside. I'm just not talking about them in this video. Targets to the downside. Be prepared for it. First area support to the downside, 9,900, 8,700, Fibonacci retracement channel. Be ready for it. Also, if we break this huge trend line right here that I just talked about, if we break that support and we actually come through it, be very careful. That's, to me, a very reliable area of support right now, right around 10,800 or so. So be careful in that area, but that will be the story of Bitcoin most likely testing once again this channel down here. And that is really what I'm very keen to see what happens if there's support down there at that $10,000 to $9,900 area. Really, I guess, in terms of a broken head and shoulders, reverse head and shoulders that we have in play in the red right here, that wouldn't really be broken until Bitcoin breaks this previous swing low right around 96.46. Got a ways to go before that happens. So if we do, 15% to go before that happens. if Bitcoin comes down even more, say tomorrow's a 10% day and we're 10,100, right? And say we have a red candle right here going down to right here. This inverse head and shoulders is still in play, just to let you know. And this is kind of looking probably too much into the future, but we can readjust this right shoulder and it's still in play. As long as we don't break this swing low of this head and get a lower low, this is still in play. So we'll be tracking this, I imagine, for at least a couple days to see how it plays out. But yes, on the upside, we have a target 15,300 or so for that inverse head and shoulders if we break that neckline. Currently around 11,000, 12,000, or 11,900 to 12,000. And then Litecoin, telling you, I think this is probably the coolest thing you can track right now for Litecoin. It is on the 4-hour chart, symmetrical triangle, 60, I think I said 62% to the apex. So we were right in that zone, getting ready for a breakout one way or another. Breakout to the upside, look for trend line resistance 126, and we are currently 5% away from that, 6% or so away from breaking that. It could happen in a 1-minute candle. We all know that. So let's see what happens. Hopefully something happens tonight and I wake up to a brand new Litecoin tomorrow. And we're talking about a Litecoin breaking through the upside of this pattern, not the downside. I way more enjoy doing bullish Litecoin videos when Litecoin's just making moves. So we'll see how this plays out, but we're definitely, I think, getting to an area where Litecoin's getting ready to make some kind of move. Even if it's resistance here at the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart right here, and we get a bounce down, right? Could get a bounce down, have to come up, test his lower trend line. So much can happen. It will make for our next video, most likely. Everybody, I appreciate you. I hope you all are having a great week. Moderators, you are amazing. Thank you for helping me. I saw some people in the chat being messed up. You guys are my defense. So if you're here right now, 50% of you, from according to my statistics, are not subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the channel as we grow, as I learn, as we all learn. MCL loves the 4 Horsemen. 499 super chat for Launchpad Foundation. I love it. 4 Horsemen loves you too, MCL. I know it. I know they do. They give you a hard time because they love you. Appreciate everybody out there for coming by this live stream on a Friday night. Don't know how this weekend's going to be going. I'll be packing and getting ready to move next week, but I'll do my best to get a video out. Let's see what happens with these charts. Let's see what happens with Bitcoin and Litecoin. Appreciate all of you out there, even you haters. I love you. I do. I hope you have an amazing rest of the night. I will see you in the next video, and God bless.